Well, I get out to the S-Class, and I put the key in the ignition, and there is no signs of life. I know the battery in the car is good, so let's figure out what's wrong. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to check is the fuse for the ignition switch. I'm not concerned about the key battery or anything, but I do want to make sure that the fuse for the ignition switch is good. So I'm looking on the fuse chart, I find it's fuse 78, flip it over, we're going to find out which fuse box fuse 78 is located in. Found it right there, and it's located on the passenger side of the dash. So I popped off the side panel to the dash, and the fuse block is actually upside down compared to the chart. Fuse 78 is at the bottom, not the top. I pulled it out, and well, yep, the fuse was blown. So to tell if you have a dead short, I'll put another fuse in there. And if there is a dead short, the fuse should blow immediately, which it does. So there's a brand new fuse I put in there. Gave it a couple seconds. I actually went and tried the ignition, still didn't work. Pulled the fuse back out, and the fuse is popped. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the wiring diagram to see what's involved in the circuit for the ignition switch. Using all data here, which is not the best. I currently don't have access to the Mercedes wiring diagram, so all data is what it is. The module is actually called an electronic ignition switch, known as the EIS, and Mercedes diagrams all have their own designation number to them. So here I found the diagram, and N73 is the part designation, and I find that the wire right there that leads to fuse 78 also has a splice in it, Z4/4, which then leads to another diagram. So something else is in the circuit besides just the ignition switch. So now I'm going to go to the search box and try to search that circuit number. The diagram number starts with PE in Mercedes. It's like German for something. Maybe German for wiring, I'm not sure. So I found the wiring diagram there. Mosey over to that diagram. And now I've got to find either that Z splice or I have to find fuse 78 to find the wires. No, it's not there. There's N73. Okay, so that's the ignition switch. And when you follow the wire, it does lead to that splice on the right side, Z44. Because my build date is after September of 02. And it goes to H3/1 is what else is in that circuit. So I know based on experience that H3/1 is the alarm siren, just because I've, worked on these cars for so long. But what you want to do is either look at the legend, which for some reason it's not on this legend, or we're going to type in H3/1 and see what it pulls up in the search box. And there you go, it pulls up the alarm siren with auxiliary battery, because the sirens do have their own battery inside of them. And I wanted the location. The location's in the driver's side fender. And now we're going to look for procedures on how to replace it. And for some reason, all data is not the best when it comes to German cars. So it didn't give me the repair instructions in that link. So I had to search for the siren itself to find the repair instructions. And there's a really terrible photocopy of the instructions because the car is a 2005. We really didn't go digital until like 2010s or whatever. But there's the module, so we're going to have to remove it and inspect it. All right, so now that we're down to the siren, I'm just going to unplug it. If it's a problem with the siren, the fuse should be okay. If it's a problem with the wiring, then the fuse should still blow. That's the fastest way to determine if you have a short in the wiring or a short in the actual parts that are connected to the circuit. All right, now that we got that unplugged, I'm going to go ahead and put a fuse back in there and see if it snaps right away. And nothing yet. We'll try the key. Hey, it unlocked, and we got it. And well, here's the culprit. A alarm signal siren that's shorted internally. And well, my success was short-lived. I barely made it out of the driveway. I get down to the end of the driveway, all of a sudden I smelled smoking and I lost steering. Well, the car decided to blow the tensioner pulley and the belt shredded and locked up. So back to the garage we go. Until next time.
All right, so I figured there's going to be questions after watching the video, like why didn't I do this, and why didn't I do that, and why didn't I do the other thing? So when you put the key in the ignition on a Mercedes, the ignition powers the key. So I don't need a battery in the key, so I didn't care to check the battery in the key, right? Secondly, I don't have a second key. If I had a second key, I would try that key. And when I put it in, if the dash still doesn't come to life, now I know we have a problem with the ignition switch. If I put the second key in and the dash comes to life and the key and it unlocks, then I know I have a problem with the first key, all right? So that's why I didn't do that process. Now, why did I go straight to the fuse chart? Because when you're not a mechanic, or if you're trying to figure out what's wrong with your own car, that's all you have at your disposal, right, is the fuse chart. So I looked at the fuse chart, found the ignition switch fuse, and I checked the fuse and it was blown. So the first step, put another one in it. If it blows immediately, you know you got a problem with the circuit or the parts connected, right? If it doesn't blow until the keys turned or something started, well, then it can still be an issue with the circuit. You just have to know when that circuit gets power, okay? In our case, the circuit gets power from the battery at all times, right? Now, I go to the diagram and I see what else is involved in the circuit, because you want to disconnect anything that's involved in the circuit. So essentially, I was going to unplug the ignition switch and put the fuse in. And if it didn't blow until I plugged the switch back in, now I know we have a problem with the switch. If I unplug the switch and put the fuse in and it blows, now there's a problem with the wiring from the fuse to the switch somewhere in there, right? Like a mouse could have chewed something, or water, corrosion, something like that. Now, in looking at the diagram, there was a solder and it branched off to the H31 alarm signal siren. I could never find information in Mercedes why they did this. I just have to invent reasons in my own brain why they did this, where like the siren has a battery in it. So let's say you go to steal the car, the siren goes off. If you go to find the wires to the car, to the siren, you can cut the wires. Well, there's a battery in the siren, so it keeps going off, right? We would have to take the siren and drown it in a bucket of water for the water to finally seep into the circuit to kill it. We used to hide the sirens in each other's toolboxes, and you would hear a faint, and it would drive people crazy. Anyways, I believe they put that as part of the circuit, to where if someone's trying to cut the wires to the siren or cause an issue with the siren, it'll actually disengage or disable the ignition switch, right? So like it's another safety. And the sirens are in all the cars. It's in all the models. I just recently checked the 2012. It's in all the models. I don't know how many of the new ones are tied into the ignition switch circuit, but all the older cars had this issue. C classes, CLK, CLS, S class, SL. So if you got a fuse blowing, the alarm signal siren can either cause a battery draw or it can cause the fuse to blow and render your car inoperable. So I just left it unplugged for now. I did install it back in there so I didn't lose the thing. I meant to show it for the video, but the siren has its own battery. So once it becomes active, once power's lost, that siren keeps making noise. There's a signal from the siren to I believe it's the PSE module that activates it. So those are the reasons I took the steps that I did. right? If you're in the shop, you've got to go to the diagram and see what's connected. You don't really wouldn't check the fuse chart first. I'm not sure if I would do that in the shop or not. I'd just go right to the diagram and then find the fuse from there, because if you check the fuse chart and the fuse is blown, you still got to look at the diagram. So why not just pull up the diagram, right? But in essence, I wanted to share the video that my car was fine. I parked it over winter and I went to start it summertime and it wouldn't start. This is a project car I bought just for YouTube, and I'm trying to find time and space to work on the darn thing. And every time I go to start it, there's something else wrong with it, And after I get the ignition switch going and the car finally runs, I throw the kids in the back, say, hey, let's take it around the block to stretch its legs, and boom, the tensioner blew and locked up the belt. So find my next video, which I'm editing at the moment, that will be released soon, detailing the repair of that and going forward. So hey, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe. I get tons of views on my channels. 10% of the return views are subscribers. So please subscribe and follow along my adventures with Mercedes-Benz and car diagnostics and helpful how-to information and reviews. My name is Lou. You guys take care.